Good morning. Nice to see you all with us this morning. It's nice to have the choir back up here. And I'd like to welcome all of you in person and online. I have a couple, I want to call attention to a couple announcements. Matt has one he would like to make. If you want to come forward.
Well, you guys were sent an email on Thursday, and we wanted to talk a little bit about that. The air conditioner unit in the lower part of the education building has gone out. It was put in 1990. And so we want to make sure that we're going about this the proper way with our bylaws. We're supposed to have a 2-week notice before we have a special meeting, which the email was sent out on Thursday. So we want to make sure that there were any objections to us having the meeting next Sunday, which is short by 2 days for the 2-week notice for that meeting. Does anybody object to us having the meeting and to talk about the next meeting? Okay, awesome. Well, I'll have more information for you guys next week. If you'd like to talk to me about it before then, you're more than welcome to. Okay.
As Taylor mentioned, we are glad to have Dr. Jeff Long with us again this morning. So we've been missing for a couple of weeks, and we're glad to have him back. Also, Jeff asked me to announce that there will be a meeting of the Sausage Center Planning Committee this Wednesday at 6:30. So if you'd like to be on the committee and help with that, please be here at 6:30. Are there any other announcements? We want to remember also our members who are ill or in the hospital or say our prayers for them. So let's begin our worship this morning with the Android Sanctuary. Which is President George. Please rise. Please remain standing for the call to worship. Let the whole congregation of God's people, this is the day for new beginnings. This is the time for God's people. This is the moment for faithful response. Praise God in the assembly of the faithful. Make melody to God and sing a new song. Praise God for life enriched by love. Praise God for love that fulfills God's law. This is the hour to wake from our sleep. The energy of God's love fills this place. Here we claim our identity as Christians. Here we become the Church of Jesus Christ. Join us in the song, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore You, number 4. Our ancestors in the faith sometimes sought vengeance on their enemies. Jesus challenged his friends to listen and reconcile those with whom they disagreed. Paul counseled followers to put away quarreling, jealousy, and harmful behavior. There is much in our lives that is harmful to ourselves and others, much that leads to brokenness and lasting pain. Let us confess our need for healing. Please join me in prayer confession. O God, we have been unfaithful to your commands. We have been more ready to condemn than console, more eager to justify ourselves than to work for understanding. We feed the flames of discipline instead of welcoming the freeing power of forgiveness. We gather as two or three, not to open your presence, but to gossip about those who are absent. Our sins are destroying us, God. Turn us around to a new way of living. Amen. Salvation is near to us now than when we became believers. God's healing presence has come among us and dwells within us. Our openness to God's transforming love releases in us the potential for wholeness. We will be amazed at what we can do and who can be as humble, joyous followers of the one who is the way, the truth, and the life. Please join us in passing the peace to your neighbors.
trying to decide whether I should stay standing or sit down. Wow, that was almost unanimous. All right. Well, let me ask you this question. Am I invisible? How do you know? See, uh, I thought about something I could do for these children, and I decided not to do it. I was thinking about seeing if we could all the lights would turn off. No light bulb, not even a light bulb. These lights, all the lights on. There'd still be enough natural light to see. What I'm going to say is, there's no light in this room. I put my hand in front of my face. I think I can see it. You had all the answers before. Oh, could I see my hand if there was no light? That's correct. Because you don't see. You don't see me. I don't see you. I don't see my hand. I don't see that ball. I see the light that's bouncing off. So there's no light in the room. So, you know what this is? What is this? It is a fan. Like that? Now, there's some people in the church that remember a day when there wasn't air conditioning church on Sunday. I bet somebody remember. Yes? Nobody's not there. So, okay. And when there wasn't any air conditioning section in the room, get a little hot. So they had fans in the pew. He could take out while the pastor was preaching. You feel anything when I do that? What do you feel? Yeah, that's a great thing. Now, let me ask you a question. You see the wind? You can? Okay. Let me ask you. I'm going to accept that answer. I'm going to ask somebody else if they have a different answer. Why can't you see the wind? It's invisible. So, what you're saying is, you didn't say it, but I'm putting the word in your mouth. Some things that are real, you can't see. Yes? You can't see the wind, right? Well, you say it, but we'll talk about that later. You can't see the wind. What else can't you see? Oh, give me a high five. You represent. I don't have any sermon notes. You couldn't do that. But that's true. That's true. Jesus loves it. There's something else that's real that you can't see. Love. When you feel about something, when your parents feel about you, you can't see it. You can't put it on a wall like a poster. But it's just as real. See, you can see it. So there are visible things that you can see. My shoes are real. Yeah. This fan is real. There are some things you can't see. It's just yeah. Jesus. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I always said I had a multiple, so I gotta make sure. So don't lose this when you go to a game. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Our scripture reading this morning is from Exodus 2, 1 through 12, the New International Version, the birth of Moses. Now a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This is one of the Hebrew babies," she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" "Yes, go," she answered. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." The second verse is Moses flees to Midian. Verse 11. One day, after Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were and watched them at their hard labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. Looking this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
Good morning. I have a request to make, and I've talked with Christy and Kelly about it. The hymn that follows the sermon this morning, I'd like to change it to what last minute changes. I'd like to change it to number 1, Immortal and Invisible. Let's sing that instead of what is scheduled, which is Gazing, Gazing. I think maybe the reason we're get there, but if you're in the habit of marking your hymnal, as I used to do when I sat in the congregation, what's next? What's next is number 1. The last part of what Earlene read to you, I'd like to repeat, and then I'm going to go on. The last part of that scripture from Exodus 2 says this. One day, when Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were and watched them at hard labor. They were slaves. They were slaves in Egypt. Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of Moses' own people. Looking this way and that and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. We're going to come back to that in a minute. But I want you to have that in mind because that's sort of a critical verse from the text this morning. the message that you see in your bulletin this morning, the sermon title, "See the Invisible," well, that's foolish. I mean, literally, you can't see the invisible. So obviously, I mean it in a figurative way. I mean it in a way that people feel like they're not seen. Not that they don't have corporeal form. They just feel like they're not seen. There are times in my life when I felt like I was not seen. That I was in a group of people, nobody saw me. Maybe you felt that way. You felt that way this morning. Nobody saw you. It didn't matter. But I came this morning. I don't feel as if anybody saw me. That's something to think about. I remember being invisible to others. When people saw me, but because I didn't mean anything to them, I felt like I was invisible. So let me tell you about something that happened 46 years ago this week. I'm at the college radio station. I was a sophomore. And I saw a young woman who I thought was really cute. And I placed myself in front of her, hoping that we'd start a conversation. But that young woman, who was still is about 4 inches shorter than I am, did this and said, "Has anyone seen Tilda?" The guy that I heard later, and she was sweet on me. Well, that was not a good moment. That was not a good moment. Within a couple of weeks, I learned her name. She learned mine. We began a relationship. And now we live over here in North Russell. We have 2 adult children. We're almost 30. We have a couple of properties in 2 different states. We have 2 dogs and 3 cats and a whole lot of history. And it all started because I learned her name and she learned mine. And we began a relationship. Names are crucial for a relationship. The other night, I think we got a farm tape the other night. It was in Uptown Jackson. I mean, South Hope Street, most of it was blocked with these tables that had been arranged end to end. It was put on by Uptown Jackson Revitalization. It was a nice event. And I'm walking down these tables because I was taking pictures for the newspaper. And I'm walking down these tables, and there was a woman who sees me. And she looks at me and she says, "Hi, Jeff." And I looked at her, and I realized that I knew who she was. We had spoken before and exchanged emails, but I couldn't summon her name. So the conversation we had was very brief. It would have been considerably longer if I could have remembered her name. Name is the key to relationship, and we'll come back to that. There's a story told about a nursing student who was taking an exam. She had gathered with her fellow classmates, and the proctor had handed out the test for the day. And so the nursing student is reviewing the questions. Sometimes people do that. They look at the questions. They see, how much time do I have to spend on this, on the multiple choice questions, on the true and false, and the essay question. I want to get a sense of what the test is about. So this student is looking over the test, and she sees a question that kind of throws her. And the question was this. This is a legitimate question. Who is the woman who mops the floor in this building? That was the question on the nursing test. So the student puts up her hand, and the proctor comes over and says, "Yes, you have a question." "Yeah, I do. This question, who is the woman who mops the floor?" Is that a serious question? Yes. Will it be afraid? Yes. And the proctor said, "Just to be fair, her name is Dorothy." Names are the key to relationship. I want to go back to that as we close the sermon in a few minutes, but there is a There's something to be said about the text today, Exodus chapter 2. You know the history of the Jews who were known as Hebrews then in Egypt. They were under slavery. The Bible tells us 400 years of slavery in Egypt. And Moses had learned that he was a Hebrew, although he was very close to the Egyptian family, the royalty. But he had learned his true origins, that he was Hebrew. And the text says, I mentioned this at the start of the sermon, Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of Moses' own people. Looking this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sea. I feel fairly certain that Moses did not know the name of that Egyptian. I think there's every reason to believe the Egyptian didn't know who Moses was. Had he known the name of the Egyptian, he might have known something about his life. He might have known that that man had family. Maybe it would have changed what he did to that Egyptian. Maybe he would have upbraided him, scolded him. Maybe he would have hit him. But would he have killed him if he knew his name, knew something about his life, and knew something about his family? I think that's in question. When we know someone's name, we can build a relationship. And without the name, relationships are very difficult. I mentioned one the other night. When I went home from farming table, I got in the car to drive back to my house, and I thought, that was Martha. Of course, it was too late. Martha was gone, Martha had gone home by that time. But without names, relationship becomes very different. Now, actor Martin Sheen starred in the TV show The West Wing. You may know that Martin Sheen is an activist, and what he's active about is neither here nor there, and not connected his message, but he is very concerned with social issues. And he made a statement once that I thought was really worthwhile. He said, "You know how you depersonalize somebody? You know how you depersonalize? You just don't learn their names. You just don't know who they are. And if you don't know who they are, then you don't know anything about their life. You don't know who cares about them. And then it makes it easy to kill them." It made so much sense to me that Martin Sheen had seen this in his life of activism. Martin Sheen's probably 80 years old now. But he saw that in his life, that the key to a relationship with other people starts with a name. And so I'm going to challenge you with two challenges today. Here's the first one. If you come out of church today, out of the building, come down the steps and shake my hand. If I don't know your name, I'm going to ask your name. Don't be offended. You may say, well, I told you that before. You have me at somewhat of a disadvantage. The key to have a relationship with anyone starts with the name. The invisible becomes seen. That's the whole message. That's the whole sermon. The invisible becomes seen. When we learn their names and realize they have a life beyond the church and the name, they have people who are important to them. They have people that care about them, and they have a history. Learning the name is where a relationship begins. So I want to challenge you to do something. I want to challenge you to do what Moses did not. I want to challenge you to learn the name if you're still gainfully employed somewhere. I want you to learn the name of the person who mops or sweeps the floor. Do you know who it is? Do you know their name? Maybe you do. If you do, that's great. I want to challenge you to learn the name of the person who prepares and delivers your takeout order. I want to challenge you to learn the name of the person who delivers your mail. We go down a long list. But there are people in our lives who are invisible to us because they perform a service. And yet, we don't have any other interaction with them. And so, it may not become important for us to know who they when we know a name, a relationship can begin, and that can be wonderful. Things become seen when we take away anonymity. If Moses had known the name of the Egyptian who was killing one of his own people, would it have stayed in his hand? Would he have acted to slay that Egyptian? I don't know. I don't know. But I bet if we give him pause, had he known that and gone beyond that to know the history of the person, gone beyond that to know this person has a life and a history, and we talk to the children about it. I talk to the children about it. And we talk about how invisible can be real. You know, they could feel wind, could see it, but they could feel the wind. And one of the young people that came up, who read my sermon notes, said Jesus is invisible to us, and yet we believe that Jesus is real. God is invisible. I have never seen God. If you have, good for you. I don't expect to in this life. Yet I believe God is real, but God knows my name. God knows your name. And it is important to know God's name. The Jews called him El Shaddai, or Adonai. Christians call him Holy Spirit, the Creator, the Redeemer, the Sustainer. They call him Jesus. And I asked for a hymn change today because this goes directly to what I'm talking about. It's important to learn the name in order to have a relationship. And as I think about it, as I approach very quickly now, my 65th birthday, when the government will start taking care of me on Medicare, and boy, am I looking forward to that. I'm looking over all the documentation. Anybody have any suggestions about Medicare Part D? You know, I'm all ears. But as I get closer to my retirement, I more and more think that relationships are what life is about. Because you know what? I have assembled enough money to last me for the rest of the life. I think so. So it's not about the acquisition of more money in order to sustain my life. It's about relationships with my kids, what I hope will be my grandkids, with church family, with people in the community that know me and I know them. That relationships become more important as we get older. And I wanted to ask for this hymn that we're going to sing in a moment because it goes directly to, I think, what I've been talking about these last few minutes. Immortal, invisible, God, only wise, in light, inaccessible, hid from our eyes. And then if you finish that verse, there's a reference to a name. So let's look at that hymn, and let's do more like it. Would you stand as we sing? Hymn number 1, Immortal, Invisible, God, only wise. conclude with the Lord's Prayer. And tomorrow is a special day in the calendar. You may have noticed the courthouse square. All the flags are up. There's a reason for that. And tomorrow is Patriots Day, which is a day that is fairly new in the life of the United States. There's a reason for it. Some of us remember keenly September 11, 2001. You remember where you were when you heard the news? I just want to take a second. My wife and I were living in Eureka, Missouri, and I was a serving pastor at that time, so I was home. And my wife, who was working a job that allowed her to be home a good bit of the time, she was also home. We had a friend visiting us from Pennsylvania who would come in for a conference, and I believe September 11, 2001 was a Tuesday. Somebody looked at their phone and checked me on that, but I think it was a Tuesday. So my friend had gone to a conference in St. Louis on Monday and was getting ready to drive into the city for the second day. And the plane hit the towers, and then the plane hit the Pentagon, and then the plane hit in my region of the world, southwestern Pennsylvania. And suddenly my friend didn't want to go to the conference anymore. He couldn't get a flight out because you may remember that when September the 11th happened, all flights everywhere in the U.S. were grounded. Nobody was going anywhere. So my friend wanted to get home. He took part in a service that night at the church I was pastoring. It was packed on the evening of September 11, 2000. I saw people that night who I didn't know. We wanted some sort of experience with others to remind them that they were connected to other people, that they were part of this country, and they wanted to be surrounded by other people. They didn't want to watch just the television. They wanted to be surrounded by other people. And then I remember the Sunday that followed September 11th, good crowd in church. And then the Sunday after that, the worship attendance went to normal. It fell back to the default because we needed that experience of togetherness for what happened on that day 22 years ago. Patriots Day tomorrow. Let's remember that in prayer. Let's also remember the terrible earthquake in Morocco. I can't remember the numbers, but I thought I heard 2,000 people were killed by a single earthquake. It's far from here. Some pastor once said in my past that the further it is away, the tragedy, the less we tend to care about it. If it happened right here in our town, that's one thing. But if it's so far, but still people are involved. Let's keep the people of Morocco in our prayers as well as all those who've been devastated by flooding, severe weather, and also farmers who are still dealing with drought. The drought may be over technically in southeast Missouri, but the effects of it are going to linger for some time. Drought just doesn't have like that. With all of those concerns and the concerns that may be on your hearts, would you bow your heads and close your eyes as we go to our God in prayer? God, on this second Sunday of September, we look toward another holiday, which is not an official holiday on the calendar, but it's become an important day in the United States. The day we remember the lives that were lost on September the 11th in Virginia, in Pennsylvania, and in New York City. We ask for your hand to be upon those who, even though they have gone on with their lives, the memory of that day lingers and will linger for the rest of their days. For those who are dealing with the earthquake and the loss of life in Morocco, we ask your hand not only on the victims and their families, but on the first responders who sometimes get forgotten. There are people in our minds this morning, oh God, that we lift up in prayer, and we lift them for the most part silently. but you hear our silent prayers just as well as you hear my voice at this moment. With all of these concerns, we come to you, O God, because we know you are the one that has your hand on everything. We can't see the future, but we know you are the one that holds the future. And so, with that in mind, O God, we turn from my voice to the voices of us all as we join in one voice and pray the prayer Jesus taught his disciples, the Lord's Prayer, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. I heard a pastor this summer give an invitation to the offering, and I like it. So I'd like to offer it to you. It's a little off to beat the track, but here is his invitation. Consider your gift at this moment. Consider the way that you can respond in faith to what you've experienced this morning. And if there is not a smile on your face when you give the gift, then clearly you have not given enough. For the ushers. likeness of God's mercy. Chapter 24. We talked about names this morning. So let me finish with this. At the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that He is Lord. Glory of God. Go with His name on your lips and in your hearts. Go in peace.